Scattershot needs no desktop generals or academy slag skimmers to tell him how to fight. He just wades into a Decepticon patrol and doesn't come out until all of his crayons are broken and he's scribbled over all the mazes he couldn't solve. He then puts down the coloring books and does the same thing to a hostile Decepticon force, only with guns and acid pellets rather than crayons. That's what he calls strategy.
Alright, so here we're taking a look at Transformers Combiner Wars Scattershot. Now, as you can probably tell, Scattershot here is actually just a retool and a recolor of the Transformers Combiner Wars character Silverbolt, and maybe Cyclonus to a lesser extent. And I will say, well, this body actually worked on Silverbolt and Cyclonus to a lesser extent. Cyclonus had a slightly different mold to the chest. And Silverbolt had a lot of variations of colors to actually break up the overall aesthetic. For some reason, this guy this bot mode just seems a little bit boring to me. I think it's just the oversaturation of red on him. Yes, it is very G1 accurate. I mean, you have the red with the slightly darker red, the off-white, the little bit of blue, and I guess some orange right here just to break things up, but it's not enough for me. And yes, it worked on the original Scattershot. I don't particularly have that guy on hand for this particular review, so I apologize about that. But just for some reason on Silverbolt's body, like I said, it just seems kind of boring and plain to me. It's just, nothing really stands out to me visually. So yeah, I will say that later on, when we transform this guy, I kind of prefer his alt mode a little bit better than his robot mode. I will say that there's also some other things that are nicely G1 accurate, especially in the head sculpt right here. It's very reminiscent of of how Scattershot originally looked. The only other issue I have, though, is actually the whole blue right here for his face. I wish they actually made the visor a slightly different color than his mouth or lower jaw. That'd kind of be like me actually wearing a pair of flesh tone sunglasses with the actual lenses being flesh tone as well. It just seems kind of weird and off. Now he does share the same, since he is the same body mold as Silverbolt, it's the same amount of articulation. His head can move side to side, and because of it's still kind of that squared off look, you can't move it too far around, although it can kind of move up and down very nicely. His shoulders are able to ratchet up and down. That's a nice ratchet going out. Bicep swivel, elbow bend, knee ratchets, you can move it out in various ways, thigh rotation, and then a knee bend as well. And that's pretty much about it for his rotation, or his joints. He does still come with the standard weapons that Silverbolt did, and I'm actually happy that they were able to finally get the mold correct for these handles back here. On the mold for Silverbolt and Cyclonus, the handles were just kind of really jacked up, like they were just shredded on the molds when they came out of these things. So yeah, they fit similar into his hands like so. They get the little shield blaster right there, and then the long range or long barrel pistol right here on his other hand. Now, because of him and a lot of the mass that's back here, I think mainly a little bit, it might be more of an issue on this guy just because for his jet mode, this piece is a lot bigger on him. He does want to be kind of back heavy. And if you don't have his guns in his hands, and his arms are out back like this, all this kibble does make him kind of want to, you can see he's just ready to fall over at any moment. One way to also fix this in displaying him is if you don't want to have the guns in his actual hands, you could just put one gun right back here where it's supposed to go, and then it kind of acts as a tripod to keep him upright for more things. Like, yep, I'm standing completely on my own. I'm not tipsy or drunk. Yeah, don't look behind me. Don't look there. Sorry, I'm starting to have way too much fun with my toys here. Anyways, without anything else to really say about his alt or his bot mode, I should say, let's actually transform him into his jet mode. Now to start off transforming Scattershot, we're going to move his head forward like so to move his chest out, and then just rotate his chest back like so. We're going to move his arms out just a little bit just to get them kind of out of the way. If you've seen the transformation for Silverbolt and Cyclonus, it's exactly the same thing. Now we're going to rotate his ankles out like so, and I will say that these thigh joints are a little tight on mine, so it's putting a little bit of extra pressure right here on this particular joint. I'm a little worried that that's going to wear down over time, or maybe things will loosen up here if I keep transforming enough. Who knows? We're then going to next fold these little panels out on the back of his legs, and you can see that they have a little tab right there, and I hope it comes in, or you can kind of see it, there's a little slot right in there that these are going to want to fold up into. But before we do that, we're going to need to move his heels back, his feet all the way in like so. Other side. Didn't want to fold that back. Okay, we're going to fold this up. Move his arm up a little bit more. There we go. Just get that into place right there on either side. There we go. And while we're at it, I guess we can actually take his chest piece, pull that out right so. Get that right in there. Rotate his arms down, bend them just slightly so that this hinge right here can rest right into that slot. There you go. There we go. Then we're going to take his wings, fold those down, and then lock those into place. There's a little slot right here that's going to fit right there on the arms. That helps keep the arms in place. Then we're next going to take his nose cone, flip that up here first, and then rotate it all the way around. Otherwise, it's a little bit hard to get it around if you do it the other way. And then just move this up like this, and there you go. Scattershot is now in his Cybertronian Jet spaceship mode. Oh, I should also say, well, before I put his gun together on here, he does also have a little landing gear right here, just like Cyclonus. And Silverbolt, yeah, blanket on the name right there. However, rather than a wheel, it's a nice little shock absorber pad. Kind of make it seems like, yeah, he's not really coming in for landing. It's more so like landing, a little bit like the Millennium Falcon, if you think about it. And as I said before, his guns can actually move together or merge together just like Silverbolt and Cyclonus's, and they can actually fit down here. And this actually forms and acts as the third or landing gear as opposed to the little shock pad right there. As I said also earlier, I really enjoy the Cybertronian Jet Mode, or this Jet Mode. I don't know if it's a Cybertronian Jet Mode. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I much prefer this mode than his bot mode. I can't quite fully pinpoint why. Yes, it's all the same colors. It might be that that more of that off-white is a little bit hidden right here on the back of the jet, or maybe it's the fact that it's the only white is right here, and your eye kind of gets drawn to this gun part right here, and not so much the back. That might be why it actually works for me just a little bit better. Where you do want to have the focus on right here on this gun, because it is kind of one of the neat features of them. The original one had this giant, massive cannon right here as well, so it's nice that they were able to carry that over into this design and not just make it some sort of weird jet or nose cone. He did have a third alt mode on the original toy where he transformed into a cannon that the other guys could fire. I've tried transforming this guy into that a little bit, but it doesn't really seem to work, and it's kind of a real stretch of the imagination. So yeah, that is one disappointment. I wish they would have worked that in just a little bit more on the design. Now, besides all the paneling, and you can see little jet engines right here on the back of them, you can also see that on all of these wings, he has a lot more guns than Silverbolt and even Cyclonus. There's a gun right here, two right here on this just above his jets right here, one on the ends of his wings, the massive cannon right here, and I guess this second cannon right here. So yeah, he's really kind of armed to the teeth in his alt mode. He's just ready to shoot down anybody, take names, kick ass, and choose bubblegum, and he's all out of gum. Yeah, I'm digging this alt mode just a little bit more. He does have the same amount of thickness right here as Cyclonus and Silverbolt, but because of how the chest is kind of designed, it makes me wonder, just kind of wonder if they originally had a Scattershot in mind, or was at least thinking about him down the line when they were designing Silverbolt. It just kind of makes you wonder. There's not really much else to say about this particular jet mode, so let's actually get him into his combiner mode state. Alright, now to get Scattershot here into his combiner mode state is exactly the same as Silverbolt's or Cyclonus's. So if you've seen those reviews, you kind of know what's coming. We're going to start off by moving his tail fin back right so. Move his nose cone, just bend it back, rotate it all the way around, bring his wings up. There you go. So we can actually disconnect his arms and rotate them out. Rotate them all the way around. Move them down. Then rotate them forward like so, and then rotate his fists back around like this. Because as you know, these are actually going to form the legs of his combiner mode state. I'll get into that in a little bit. We're then going to separate his chest like so we can actually pull his head out. Get that around and make sure that there's a little slot right there that fits right in the back tab right here. Like I said, it's exactly the same as Silverbolt, so it's kind of real easy. If you've transformed Silverbolt, you kind of know what's coming. We're then going to take this little panel right here, move that forward, and then get his chest out like so. And combine that back here, and voila, he's now ready to form. Oh, forgot to move these little panels down like this. Kind of interrupts my whole reveal there, but anyways, he's ready to form Computron. However, at the time of this review, or the time of this video, the rest of the Technobots aren't out. You actually have to combine him with Ironhide, Sunstreaker, and Prowl, and I forgot the other guy's name, to form Bettertron. I don't even really like that name, Bettertron. I refuse to actually do a review on him, kind of like almost the combiner mode version of Cyclonus. It wasn't a true G1 combiner, so I don't feel like I want to review it. I don't want Bettertron, I want Computron. So yes, Hasbro, if you can come out, I want to take you, I'm wanting to give you my money. If you can give me the rest of the Technobots, yes, I know that they're most likely going to be remolds of guys that you've already existed and not fully G1 accurate, but still, I want to have Computron, not Bettertron. It's just kind of bugs me. Anyways, until we can actually get the rest of the guys coming out, so Computron's just going to have to wait then. So sorry about that. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.